Hello, everybody. I'm here with Asra. And yes, thanks for coming. This is
course,
awesome.
my pleasure. It's so exciting to be here with you.
And we actually met because of Emily, right?
Right?
Yeah, we were at a wedding.
Absolutely.
You were
Shout
doing
out to
makeup,
Emily.
slaying it, and I was like, oh my god, you're really good. Let's be friends.
And I have loved you since then.
Aw, thank you. Okay, so tell us a little bit about yourself and kind of just like how you got started in the industry. So you have a studio.
We do have a physical location.
Okay,
yes.
yeah. Now, you didn't when I met you.
No.
Me neither. We were just like freelancing.
Yay to the growth.
I know. I love it. And we're on like very opposite sides of town, so it's great.
Yes.
And we do very different styles of makeup.
Absolutely.
So
that's the beauty of being in the beauty industry, that you can cater to so many things. But we are located in Sugar Land, all the way hour away from here.
Yep.
But I mean, we do everybody, as you have seen already, that we do everybody. But this was not the choice of field initially for me.
Oh, really?
Surprisingly. This was not that I ever imagined that this was a thing.
Wow.
Initially I did cosmetology very early on. Then that I left that was in California.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See, I had no idea.
Yeah, right. And then I did nursing. I was doing nursing, and I did that, and I was like, again, hospital is not for me. Mm-hmm. I hated every single bit of that. Yeah. I mean, it's just not the vibe for me. It was just too stressful. Yeah. It was getting too personal. It was a lot of baggage that I will take back home. So I was just like, I cannot do that.
Yeah, no.
So I left that. Then I moved to Houston in 2015. Mm-hmm. And I then planned to do, open my own daycare.
Oh, I did not know this. Okay.
I planned to open my own daycare because I had 2 kids at that time. So I was just like, everybody was like, oh, you need to do something that will be easier for the kids and things like that. So I worked on that. The whole makeup thing started because of my mom. Oh. Thanks to her.
Shout out, Mom.
Yeah, shout out, Mom. One of her co-workers, she also works in school. So one of her co-workers was going to a wedding. And she was just like having a lunch break conversation that I don't know how to do hair and makeup. Oh. And she was just like, no clue what to do, and it's a family wedding, and I am clueless about doing all this thing. I believe she initially moved, at that time, she just moved from India or somewhere. Okay. So she was just like, I have no idea what to do. Yeah. I have no idea what happens here. So my mom just casually told her that, hey, my daughter knows how to do some hair and makeup.
She just volunteered you to go do
She just volunteered me to that, the tribute, just do it. That's and so she was just like, she knows how to do hair and makeup. She's free on Saturdays and Sundays because I was working in school at that time, working towards my own, school. So she was just like, oh, just, she'll just do it to you. Just come over whatever time you need, and she'll just get you ready for that thing. Yeah. So her coworker and her mother-in-law both showed up. And with whatever I had with my own kit, whatever collections I had, I just did her hair and makeup and called it a day. And, literally it's so funny. She just gave me as a token of gift $20.
That's it?
$20. She just like, I love you, thank you for doing it. And I was just like, okay, cool, no problem. Yeah. It was, anyways, I was supposed to do it for free. Yeah. So I just did that hair and makeup for her. Nice. And that is how this whole thing started. Yeah. The following week, I'm working in school and random people are calling and texting me, asking me to do the hair and makeup for their events.
You're like, whoa.
And I'm like, what do you mean you want me to do the hair and makeup for your events? Because again, coming from Atlanta, not having, this is a thing. Now it is a big thing where Instagram has evolved a lot of, small businesses and industries and things like that. When you're talking 10 years back, there was no such thing. And even take it back, when I was in Atlanta, which was 15 years ago, nothing like that existed. Everybody would go to MAC counters to get their makeup done, figure out how to do the hair.
Ulta,
Exactly. And that was it.
Yeah.
That was the only thing. So even at that time, I would get my family and friends ready. It was not a thing that, okay, this can be a career. Right. Or you can build a beauty business out of that. Right. It was never a thing. So, so I was still confused. I was just like, what do you mean you want me to do your hair and makeup? And then I'm like,
what? You go to the counter.
I'm like, exactly. I'm like, you want me to do all this thing? I'm like, I'm so confused. Yeah. So, but then I was just like, okay, people are calling me. Let me just see what
happens with this.
Yeah. What is this? WTF moment was happening at that time. So I was like, okay, let me do that. And that is exactly, this whole thing started. I was working 5 days in school, 2 days in this wedding, wedding industry.
Oh my gosh.
So for a year, I was doing 7 days a week. Because
so
I was still
many
so
people
confused.
start like that. Yeah.
I was still so confused that I'm just like, this cannot be a thing.
Yeah.
This is just a temporary thing. Like,
Yeah.
this is not how I'm gonna make money. This is not how
Yeah.
my career is gonna, like, be at, like, after 10 years or 5 years or whatever.
Yeah.
So I was still like, and my mom was just like, you need to chill.
Yeah.
Either you decide to be in beauty business or you
Right.
decide to be in the childcare. You need to do one thing. You
Yeah,
cannot
that's a
do
lot.
both.
Yeah,
You
no.
have 2 kids. I raised my kids already.
Yeah.
I'm
She's
not
like,
gonna
"I'm
raise
done."
your kids now. I'm not designed to do that. Please, like, get a life.
Literally every grandma right now. They're
Yeah,
like,
she's
I'm
just like,
done.
I am not designed to raise your
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah.
So that's how this whole thing started. So I quit my job. I told them exactly what I was doing.
Oh my gosh. That's
Yeah, I'm like, this is what I'm trying to do, and they were like, we are open anytime you want to come back.
Aw, that's
come back.
sweet. Yeah.
Yes,
That's sweet.
So grateful for that. And literally, they called me for a year. They're like, you want to come back?
Yeah,
Like,
no.
is that a wrap? Like, you want to do that? And I'm just like, no, thank you.
Actually,
But,
I enjoy what I'm doing.
Yeah, and that's exactly how I met Emily. I met
Yep.
you because
Mhm.
this whole
Networking and meeting people. And
absolutely
Yeah.
truly blessed.
That's so cool.
That's how this whole thing started for
I
me.
love it.
Yes.
So it just like dropped in your lap, basically. It was like, okay, here, poop.
Yeah,
we're
I
doing
just,
this.
I think so. I just trusted my gut feeling. I'm like, this can be a thing.
Yeah.
Because again, my family just like, you are nuts. First you left nursing.
Yeah.
Now you left
They're like,
childcare.
what is she doing with her life?
You left this and that, and I'm just like, I'm not feeling this thing at all.
Yeah.
So till I'm not feeling it, I'm not stopping the exploration of my
Right.
career.
Yeah, I know. I love that.
Yeah. So
And I feel like you've just, grown so much. Like you were freelancing and then you were working for other companies and now you have your own spot and I'm sure you're employing other people.
I do.
Yeah. So it's like, it's just, yeah.
It's amazing.
It's like,
And the
Yeah.
best thing about having your own place is that you have the control of how much
nice.
you want to work and how much you don't want to work, who you want to work with.
that.
And I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how did you transition from like freelancing and then getting your own spot?
So that thing started by, again, as when initially the people I did, and if you know, a lot of South Asian community is, as being a South Asian myself, I have a lot of that I cater to.
Right.
So a lot of them don't do hair. A lot of them just do makeup and things like that.
Right.
So one way or another, and a lot of them were like, I initially, when you start, you do everybody. You do as much as possible. So I used to do them for whatever occasion they'll come, and I'll do them and all that good stuff. As we were growing, and then we got into with you guys when the big weddings were happening, and we would do that. So it will be just one big wedding a day,
Right.
and then you're done.
Right.
That was a vibe when we would do things like that. So when that happened, I would not be able to do them. So there was always a conversation behind the scenes that they would ask me last minute, hey, can you do my makeup, blah, blah day, and this and that. And I'm just like, I'm so sorry, I'm completely booked for the day.
Yeah, I can't.
So that was always a thing, always behind the scenes with me, that they will be asking about, oh, you know what, you don't have time to do us anymore, and there's no way you can cater to us anymore, and things like that.
Yeah.
So, being me, I was always like, I really cannot technically dump the people who really made me who I am.
Yeah.
And built me into this business. So I was like, always had this thought in my mind that how can I take care of everybody,
Right.
at the same time.
Right.
So that was a whole idea behind opening my studio. And funny enough, when I signed the contract to open my studio, pandemic happened.
Oh no. I didn't realize you opened it right then.
Yeah, right there in
Oh my
2020.
God. Yeah, that sucks.
And I was like, oh Lord.
Are we gonna be okay?
I was just like, what am I going? What did I do? And I was like, signed a 6-month contract. I was just like, I'm screwed.
Yeah.
And but long behold, whatever. Thank
It all
God
worked
Texas was not having that much restrictions.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lord.
They're like, we're not doing this.
Yes. So all the events were still happening. We
Yep.
were still serving people. Studio was still open. I'm like, if you want to do it, we're open.
Right.
So
I'll wear a mask. We'll figure it out. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, whatever that
Yeah.
needs to be done. And, we'll take all the precautions and things like that. And thank you, Lord, everybody showed up. There was no cancellations at all.
What?
No.
I had a couple, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah, I mean, it was just like, I still remember May 29th, I was back at my first wedding.
That's crazy.
That happened in March, April, May.
Yeah.
May 29th, I
Ready
was
to
back
go.
at it.
That was awesome.
Yeah. So thank God. it did not affect us at all.
Yeah, well, that's good.
Yeah. And then, we still travel. It's not that we don't travel.
Yeah.
But we made into two different, choices you can make. You can come to the studio, or you can book us for us to
Whatever's
travel.
more convenient, yeah.
But because of our packages, the way we offer in studio, 99% of the crowd just comes in the studio.
Oh, really? It's easier.
It is much easier.
Well, and because a lot of times they're getting ready at one location and then they're having an event or the wedding or whatever at another location, especially with like the brides that you work with. Mine, it's very different. It's one day. It's all in the same place. Like, I don't have to deal with that.
You do the bridesmaids and things like that and everybody. It's just like we do have the same thing, but again, it's because it's a South Asian community. They're not really technically, much into getting ready at the venues. I don't know. It's a vibe.
Yeah,
They don't want to get ready at the venue.
A lot of times they don't. Yeah.
It's very rare they want to get ready at the venue.
Multiple locations.
Either it's their house or whatever
a hotel
or something like that.
Conference room, whatever, yeah.
And the best thing is that the location that we are at in Sugarland, it's the prime.
I know, you're like right there.
Right there, it's a prime location. So we are like literally 10 minutes away from either their venues.
That's awesome.
Or mostly where they're getting married to. That's awesome. And where they live.
Yeah.
Or something like that. So it's
close.
always like they always show up at the studio.
That's so convenient for you.
It is. And
that's so nice.
As you're getting old, I kid you not,
I hate traveling.
The packing, the unpacking, the loading, the unloading. I cannot do that no more.
It's too much.
The days I have traveled out, Lord, I need to take Tylenol at the end of the day. I was just like, what did I sign myself up to? But thank you for paying extra. But
sometimes it's not worth
it. It is just like, it's too much. But I'm just like, I'm okay being in my studio. I'm truly blessed. That I got this opportunity, and
awesome.
People come to the studio. Thank you for coming.
And your space is big.
It is. I mean, it's big like this.
Yeah. No, you have a very big space.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It's a big space.
But
that. People still complain why it's so small. And I'm just
I
want to do 2 people at a time. I'm not designing to do like 15 people at a time.
Yeah, it's very different.
So I'm okay with my space. I don't want to overcrowd.
Yeah, and then you don't want to pay for it, and then you have all the overhead, and then you have to work more, and it's like, no, pump the brakes.
Even my team is like that. They're like, we have done crazy amount of people in our studio too. Like last year or 2 years ago, we had 25 people scheduled for the studio. Out of them, there were 7 brides.
Oh my God. That's crazy. In one day?
In one day. So they were like, it was like a mill situation. It was like, just like, get ready, shove, get ready, shove, get ready. It was just like pushing people out of the line.
It's terrible.
And it was just like terrible. And my team was just like,
and it takes away the experience.
Exactly. So we were just like, this is not what we want to do. We can do all that. Then they were like, we need to put a cap on how many people we do, because it's just like, when people come to our studio, we want them to have a good time.
Right.
Leave de-stressed.
Yep.
Have that experience with them. It's just not paying us to get ready.
Right.
It's about having a good time.
Right.
That's my whole vibe.
It is, yeah.
That is my whole vibe. That when you come, you have a good time. Like, it's a girl talk situation. Yeah. We talk about everything. Yeah. My studio is like kind of like a Vegas.
Have a drink. Yeah.
It's like what what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas type of thing. So whatever you talk, nobody's gonna talk outside these doors.
It stays here. Yeah.
It stays right there. Yeah. You have no idea how much people really talk.
Oh no, I do.
So people are pouring their heart out, and they're like talking about the things that they cannot talk to their mother, sisters, friends, husbands, and whatever. And we technically become like, Dr. Phil.
Oh.
I know. I'm like, low-key, I want to put.
You're basically a therapist.
I'm like, I'm a Dr. Phil, free. So, we're talking, I'm just like, it's okay, everything will come through, like, try doing this, try doing that. Yeah. So, just like, screw the makeup.
Take this vitamin, do this, yeah.
So, you're low-key a therapist, too. I should put that, and you should also, we all need to put that in our bio,
yes.
Makeup artist / therapist.
No, for real. I mean, people know that, though. Like,
they do.
When they come and get any beauty service done, they're just like, yep.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
it's amazing. And, that's the best thing I like about also having a studio and doing studio appointments. It's that you have that intimate setting where you know that you can talk. Yeah. You cannot do that at the venues.
No.
You cannot do that at the house.
No, because you're not comfortable there.
No.
Yeah, so and then you got auntie and your grandma, and like, you just can't say
Everybody wants to give their opinion how you should do your hair and makeup.
That.
So It's beautiful. I love it.
That's awesome.
Yes.
That's cool. So tell me a little bit about like building a team. How has that been stressful? Has it been good? Has it just like fallen into place?
I am blessed that I attract good people towards me, and I am very happy with the people that I work with. And it was definitely a shedding process. Everybody is not meant to work with you, even though they are good people. But for me, my values have to align with the way I work. You have to have the same values.
For sure.
Because when people are getting ready at my studio, my thing is that money is not the key factor.
Right.
You have to make sure that they leave happy. Also, I'm very firm that people understand that there are certain there are realistic expectations and unrealistic. We are not plastic surgeons.
No.
We cannot take the wrinkles away from your face. No. So we also educate them about that.
Yeah.
We redirect to your studios,
Sure.
To your places. Go get facials done.
Yes.
Go
Totally.
get treatments
go get
done.
wax, go do this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you're showing up with bushy eyebrows, guess what? The eye looks are not going to be that clean. That's the way it works.
Yeah. Yeah.
So go get your eyebrows done.
Yeah.
So we educate them too. But I also emphasize with my team that, never ever put money before the experience and quality of work they have.
Yes.
I will pay you, but don't go at them.
Right.
So that was a shedding process that we went through. And then now I have people who understand that and they're really good. You have to be kind when you're doing customer service. You cannot be like, oh my God.
Yeah, no.
You cannot be to the person. I mean, sometimes they can be, but you cannot be like, oh my God, you're so ugly, I cannot fix you.
No, they would just be distraught. You're like, well, okay, this feature.
Let me try this to make sure that you get this. The verbiage. The key is verbiage.
Yeah, well, and some people are just really sensitive, so and very insecure. And there's only so much you can do about that.
I say imagine everything possible that they can have and be nice and kind to them with the words that you use. You cannot say that, oh my God, I cannot do this makeup because guess what? You have too many wrinkles.
Yeah, no, that's
Or
terrible.
guess what? You have too much texture. Why are you breaking out so much? Or you have no hair, so you cannot do Hollywood waves on you. So
that one, that's so sad.
Right? So I'm just like, we educate them either I can say, oh my God, you have no hair. We cannot perform this hair surgery on you. But instead of saying that, you can be like, hey, do you have extensions? Because that would be much easier to achieve that look. It's just the verbiage.
Totally.
So, my team has nailed it down to where they're like, okay, you know what? And if they know that I have I have, I can do that thing. So when they don't know what to say, they just look at me and I do the verbiage for them.
Yeah, that's nice.
So I educate, I'm like, okay, let me help you. And we have an eye look.
Yeah, you're like, hey, help me help you, please.
They're just like, and I'm like, okay, so what is happening?
Yeah, let me step in and see.
We have an eye look.
With that, do you have team members that go out and do events for you where you're not there, or are you usually there?
We do, but I again try to keep it limited. I am still not there where I want to expand to having like 7 teams going out and doing it. Again, I'm trying to control the quality of work that we do. So we do have people who would do it, who are authorized to do it.
Right.
And so because again, the thing is that because we're so intimate about doing people, everybody wants me to do everything. So when it is not possible,
the same thing.
Yes. So when that is a thing, so I have, I try to control, because then I don't know what is going to happen.
Right.
And I have massive trust issues when it comes to quality control. Not that they're going to take my clients away.
Sure.
Please take them.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I have learned that they can have that experience.
Right.
But what you will offer, they would not be able to replicate.
Right.
So the experience matters. So a lot of people would come back to me because the experience they have with me would not be able to deliver from them. Because
Anybody
I go
else.
out of my way to do things.
Right.
Everybody cannot do that.
Right.
So for my case, I'm talking about.
Yeah, for sure.
So I do have people who would do it, but there are just very few who would do it. Now, I'm still not there where I would expand to having 7 different teams doing things.
Do you feel like it's because of you don't know how to maintain quality control, or you just don't want the stress and the management of doing all of it?
It's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Because I'm very precise and very A-type when it comes to my workplace and how things are supposed to be, how organized you're supposed to be, how clean things are supposed to be.
Yep.
And if I have a little doubt that you're not going to be like, delivered that thing,
right,
I don't want to take that stress.
Yeah. That is the hardest part, I would say, of like building a team, a reputable team, and of basically you duplicating you. I mean, you can't really duplicate you, but you can try.
Yeah.
And teach and educate and,
So, and I'm just like, I don't want people to pay the same price as they're paying me and not get the same experience as me.
Exactly.
So that's my whole thing and my whole vibe, that I still don't want to. I have 2-3 people who do according to what I desire.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to stay in that.
Yeah.
I'm still not, and I don't think I don't want to make it into a franchise type of situation, if that makes sense.
Sure.
I want to still have that intimate experience when they come. They see me and me around them, even though somebody else is doing them, but they still have that feeling that I am supervising what they're doing.
Well, and I love that you say that, because a lot of people, they think that the next step in, because you've kind of reached the peak of where you're at, you're fully booked, you can't really take any more clients, and the next step would be to do that franchise route, hire a big old team, teach and train, but it's like that's not meant for everybody.
Yes.
People don't enjoy that. They don't want to have a mentorship or a leadership role. Like, they want to be an artist, and that's okay. Like, you've hit that threshold, you know, and the next step you're like, well, it's not for me, I'm going to stay here.
Yes.
Because it just doesn't serve me and I don't want to do it. Right.
200%.
And it's like, some people think that just naturally that's the next step, or it's like creating a product line or doing this or doing that. And it's like, well, if you don't want to do it, that's okay. You don't have to do it. You can be happy where you're at and doing what you're doing.
Absolutely.
And then when you're done and you can just move on to something else.
And again, for me, it's like I'm truly blessed in that sense that I really don't have to, because I believe a lot of this becomes a stress to expand is because you want to, bring that dollar amount into the household to do certain things. We already have a business established that my husband does. So for me, what I do, and if like, let's suppose I don't have to do anything, I'm not contributing anything.
Nice.
So so that takes the stress away from me. That I don't have to run behind the dollar amount that, okay, let me raise my prices. I haven't raised my prices in 2 years.
Wow. That's awesome.
So for me, I'm just like,
because you don't have to.
I don't have to.
Right.
So I take, if God has blessed me, I don't want to get religious, but if God has blessed me in that sense, that is my way of giving back.
I love it. And it's a skill and an art, and it's like your way of building community.
I just want to, for me, especially in my side of the community, I want to make sure I am affordable and reachable to all the people. Because not everybody is designed to pay $1,200.
No.
That's what they're charging on our side to do the brides. FYI.
Just the bride?
Yes.
Are you joking?
No, I'm not.
That's insane.
I'll give you a few names. Go do the inquiries.
Okay. Yeah. We don't have to name drop, but
no. I'm okay. It's open. It's very well known. They're booked too, but I'm just saying that.
But not everyone can afford that.
That's just not me.
Right. Yeah.
I am more about giving back to the community. I believe in that. That is instilled in me. That is something that my father did, my mom do.
That's awesome.
And that is the way I was raised. So for me, despite I have an opportunity to expand and be expensive, but I don't want to be.
Yeah.
I want to be affordable. I want to be, everybody can come and get the good experience without the dollar amount.
Yeah.
So that's just me again.
I know. I am like right there in between, because I love having the idea of having that luxury experience, but it's like my time and my family's time, and it's like, how do you balance the two of like still being able to make some money and not work for free and still give that awesome experience, but make it affordable for people? There's
because I still have to pay my rent.
Right. Like, and byproducts.
So I still have to make money, but I just want to balance both things out.
For sure. Yeah. And that's just like a balancing act of, and sometimes when you hit a threshold, you're dealing with a very different type of clientele.
Absolutely.
And it's like, are you happy here or are you happy over here? And it's a give and take for sure. And you don't know until you're there.
Oh, man, it's not easy to be a business owner. That's all I can say. It's glitter and gold when you think, oh my God, you're a makeup artist. It's so cute. Like, you'll be just waking up and getting all glammed and getting all your hair done and putting on your lashes and walking in heels. No, we are in Crocs all day long.
Yeah, sweating. You haven't eaten.
My foot is hurting. My back is hurting. I look like a
My chiropractor bill is so high.
Exactly. It's not cute when you are actually working behind the scenes. It's the Instagram has taken away the reality of this work.
I think so.
We need to make more reels about how realistic things are behind the scenes.
Agreed.
You know, I'm big on that. I'm just like, that's why I come without makeup, without hair, done
like, this is
to my studio, to my Instagram, because I'm just like, the reality is when you're trying to glam up other people for 12 hours or 15, I had a 15-hour day on Saturday.
Yeah.
So
very common.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm just like, if I'm working for 15 hours, do you really think waking up 6 in the morning, my first thought is like, oh, let me put my makeup on and do my hair? Absolutely not.
You have a family and you have no, you got things to do.
No, unless you have a very glamorous life, good for you. If you have no kids, good for you. If your kids are grown up, good for you. You're not married, good for you. But when you have all this in your plate, to do all that, not happening.
I feel the same way, and I feel like a lot of people are like, well, you have to look professional. Sure, I look professional. I'm bathed. I'm professional. My kid is clean. I bring a skill set, but my makeup may not be done. I did do my skincare routine, and I brushed my teeth and like did all the things, right? But like, I'm not doing full glam every single day.
No.
1, I don't like it. 2, it's fine. It's gonna be fine. Like, I'm behind the scenes.
This is my thing too, that being in the beauty industry, putting the pressure on people to look nice. I'm big on that. I want to break
presentable.
that. You know, be realistic. If you can do it, do it. If you're not able to do it, there is no pressure to do certain things, you know? Because again, I have 2 daughters that I'm raising. I don't want them to feel pressurized of looking nice and presentable for other people. If you want to do it for yourself, please do that.
Right.
But if you're trying to like impress other people,
see, that's why it's not in my heart. I do not enjoy getting ready. I know that sounds terrible because I love helping other people get ready. I don't enjoy getting ready myself. I'm like, okay, I'm throwing something on quickly. My skincare routine's done. My hair's kind of fixed, and we're going out the door. Like, I have other things that I feel like are more important with my time than putting makeup on in the morning.
Exactly.
And I'm like, that sounds crazy, but
no,
it's just my stance on it.
That's what I'm saying, that if you are too glammed up, I feel like you're really not serving enough people.
You're not working.
No.
You're not working. Or you're not sleeping.
Because if you're too fancy dressed up, wearing like if you're not in your comfortable clothes, if you're not in your sneakers or joggers or whatever comfortable shoes you're in, if your hair is not tied
or you're new to the industry and you don't know yet.
Like, and if you are not, if your hair is not tied up in the middle of the day.
Yeah. I cannot with my hair in my face.
You're just like, you're like having a low-key YouTube tutorial situation happening with each client. I'm sorry you're not there yet.
I feel like don't give me, so let's talk about this. You have a huge following on Instagram, and I feel like it's because you're authentic. You are who you are, and it just is what it is, right? And you have a massive following. And I kind of want to touch on that, like how that became. But I want to talk about how sometimes I feel like artists are so ready to show themselves and not the clients. Now, I'm getting a little bit more of a following and engagement, and I feel like I have a community I've built online, and I do talk about myself a little bit more, but it's usually because I'm showcasing what I'm doing for other people. It's not about me necessarily. Like, I'm not like, look at me, do this. It's like, hey, look at my clients, but I'm the one doing the work, right? Like, you're still selling yourself online. And I think when you have your phone set up and your light set up and like all of this stuff and you're recording, it becomes less about the client and more about you and showcasing what you can do versus servicing your clients. And at the end of the day, as artists, we are servicing other people's, and that should be our top priority. Yeah. And I feel like for people who are trying to make this a career and make it a very profitable career, that they have to balance between the two. You like respect other people's privacy and service, but also still market yourself. But there's ways to do it where it's tactful and not tasteless.
Right. You know? So for example, for us, when we are there are certain people who don't want to be on social media. You know, it's a big no because of religious beliefs or whatever the case may be, or they're not allowed, or they're not. I mean, it still boggles me that you don't have Instagram. You can be religious but have Instagram, but people still don't have it. A lot of people don't. Yeah. They're just like, oh, we don't have Instagram. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. So
you're like, we live on Instagram.
Yeah. Like, but the thing is that what really helped me was I again was very honest and very true to myself. I was not trying to sell anything. So for me, it was just having a very authentic conversation.
Yeah.
Imagine I have a beauty page and I talk about chickens.
You do. I love it.
And I kid you not. You have no
I think that was
idea.
my favorite
Since
thing
I have
saw.
chickens in my life, the first conversation since I have these chickens for last 6 months, every single person that walks in my studio, they're just like, "Oh my God, I love your chickens," and I'm just like.
You're like, what? We're
So
talking
my
about-
work takes a backspace, and my chickens are becoming the front runner.
I love it.
So it's like, so this is what I'm saying, that like, I become very authentic of how my day goes, how my life is, how things are. Like I had a mini heart attack about realizing what I had to pay for my child yesterday. And I literally just come on the story and talk about
You're
it.
like, oh my God, this is...
I'm like, oh my God, I have to pay $400 for something that I don't want to pay. I'll rather put that money on me. Help me how to get that thing. People help me. So that is how the engagement gets created. Just asking for other people. You have no idea how many times people are just like, can you help me find this thing? And I'm just like, I'm not going to do that thing. I'm just going to put that on my story. So I'm just like, okay.
Help everybody. Yeah.
So I'm just like, find the venue, find this vendor, do this, do that. So it becomes more like a group chat situation.
Yeah, I love it.
For me, when I'm doing that on Instagram, that really helps me a lot.
That's awesome.
That because everybody, and I have no, like, again, being authentic, I am not trying to sell anything. I'm just talking about my kitchen, my chickens, my kids, my, some weird experience that I would have for something that is not related to beauty at all. It is always available on my Instagram. So that really connects to people. Like, it's just not, and I have, it's so sad. It's sad that people tell me that, oh, when you post somebody's beauty, reel, for example, makeup, they skip on it.
That's so funny.
It's so sad, but it's so funny that how people think. But they're like, when you're posting something about your chickens, or you're posting something about anything else related to beauty, we have engagement going on.
I will say people are very nosy, and they want to know who you are and who you are as a brand and like as a business, right? So like they don't really, they know you do good work. At this point, you've already proven that, so they don't really care about that anymore.
No.
Like I find that now that you have a reputation and people know who you are, and because you are so big on community building that comes first.
Yeah.
And so it's like anything that is within the community and people can relate about, they don't care. Like they know you're good. They're just they're gonna book you regardless, but they want to know who you are. And I feel like that's the point where I'm at with my social media presence. So like people don't care about the hair and makeup.
No, they don't.
At all. And I was like, why am I even doing this
I'm
anymore?
so transparent. I kid you not. People would come at my face and tell me that, like they were. I mean, they think they're complimenting, and I take that as a compliment. But they're just like, when you post a story about your brides and like things like that, we don't really care. But when you post about this, and we are like so into it. My son is watching. My mom is watching, so and I'm just like,
what? Yeah.
So that's where I got the idea. I'm like, maybe people really like me as a person versus me doing makeup. So I'm just like, we're going to keep both. So when you come on my Instagram, see my stories and things like that, you get the experience of life.
Yeah.
It's just me ranting at Costco about something. It's me ranting about something in front of DMV.
Yeah.
It's me ranting about something or asking questions about, how to do this thing in front of my garage. I have garage conversations. I sit in my garage. It looks like a crap, and I'm having these conversations.
And it is what it is.
It's as authentic as it can be. So I think that really connects to people, that it's not a pre-made setup, that I'm sitting in front of like perfect curated. Yes. I'm just like having this wonky, filters on my face, and they know I'm just like, what? They know it.
Yeah.
Nobody ever says, oh my God, you're trying to prove something. They know that I'm not. So we are past that stage. It's very relatable. So I think that's very important in today's time and age. If you really want to connect to somebody,
be real.
You have to be real, because every other person is presentable.
Honestly, so hard for some people.
It is,
because they're like, they've just built this whole lie, around themselves a little bit, and they're like, well, I have to be this person that I've created now, and that's not who they want to be anymore. And then
people
you have to like,
are surprised, and they actually, when we have these behind the scene conversation, they're like, how do you come on Instagram without makeup? And I'm just like, because I can.
Yeah.
I am not insecure.
Confidence.
I have no problem. Guess what? I'm not trying to impress anybody. I don't care what you think about me.
Yeah.
Because guess what? I don't care.
Do you ever look back at stuff you post and you're like, wow, that was really cringy? Because, like, when I look at stuff like 4 or 5 years ago, I was like, oh, I should not have put that on the internet.
Again, I take
because I'm not
as
that
a growth.
person anymore.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I take that as a growth.
Yeah.
Everything that I have posted, I take that as a growth. That was me at that time, and this is who I am now.
Yeah.
It's a totally different person.
That's
I'm
fair.
very. I don't want to say I don't think so. Anybody has really said I'm rude, but I'm very honest, and I will tell you how it is.
Yeah.
And and that has really built, how should I say it? Because of the way I am, because I had some weird experiences with my clients, and I'm very famous about that, about being vocal.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because like some people just leave the really controversial stuff, and like somebody did you really, really dirty, unethically.
I had 2 very famous cases.
You did, and you blasted them online, and I was
did.
like, that's brave of you. I don't think I could have done it, but that was very brave of you, and I was like, damn, she throwing it out there.
Yes.
And
the thing
tagging them and everything, and I was
absolutely.
like, go ahead,
I was
girl.
like, let me post your family pictures. Let me post you without makeup. How I make you feel like, and this is the thing.
Yeah.
See, I don't want to do dirty things. I'm that person.
But they did you dirty.
It was at the very wrong time. If you don't know, the second thing that happened, it was after my father passed away. It was the very third day of him passing away, by the way.
That's terrible.
And we were having a community gathering for prayers for him that day, and I had 2 brides and some people, and it was such a last minute thing that it happened that I was like, you know what? Again, it was me being dedicated to my work and family at the same time. And I told them that everybody knew, because again, it was a very public thing that my father passed away, and it was all over, like, posted and things like that. And I told them that, they messaged me, I'm like, are you canceling? I'm like, I'm not, because I have 2 brides. I can cancel party makeup, but when you're a bride, it's a very last minute thing, and I don't feel like it's right to do that.
Right.
So I did them at the very third day of my father passing away. So I was like, I'm doing them, so I will do you as well. Just make sure you show up on time. Because of my schedule, I scheduled the prayer for 6 o'clock in the evening.
Very limited time.
So I'm like, I'll finish everybody up and we'll be back. They never showed up. And the thing with me is, because of, again, the experiences that I had, I take full payment in advance.
Same.
So, a lot of people in our community don't do that. So it
It's
was
just
a
easier.
big, it makes me
so much easier.
Yeah, it's easy for you, it's easy for me. You are accountable to show up on time. So we get
and you
done
don't got to
on
worry
time.
about a day of, like, you just get to relax and leave. Not be like, okay, now you owe me. Like,
no, I don't want to do that. That's just so weird.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm just like calling. I'm like, you just need to send me that money. I'm like, I don't want to
hate
bet
that.
for that. I just don't want that.
Yeah.
So she already paid for it, and then she never showed up.
That's not your fault.
She called me and she's like, I'm running behind. Can I be 45 minutes late? I'm like, sure, just be on time after that. Okay, I'm running behind. And mind you, her venue was 2 minutes away from me. As I said, I'm at the prime location where all the venues are. 1 block away. I mean, if you start walking, you will be at my place in 30 minutes, by the way. So she was like, I'm running behind. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. She showed up at and I told her, I'm like, you know what, if you don't show up on time, it's a no call, no show. And it's not me anymore. It's you that did not show up on your appointment time.
45 minutes is crazy.
She came 3 hours late. 3 hours.
And expected you to do
And she called me. She's like, where are you? I'm here. I'm like, I'm in your dreams.
I don't know, you didn't.
I'm very petty. I'm telling you, I'm very petty.
I mean, first off, that is so
when you're gonna test
fucked
me,
up.
I have all the list of things I can tell you.
3 hours?
3 hours later, she showed up. Her appointment
And
was
she knew
3
that
o'clock.
you had your father's...
Yes.
That's crazy.
So that is disrespecting not
So
only my time, you're
disrespectful.
disrespecting my father's death. I mean, I don't know how to say it, but like, he passed away, you're disrespecting his time that it was dedicated to him.
Yeah.
Because of you, I rescheduled the time from 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock so I can do you.
3.
And you show up at 6 o'clock casually telling me, I'm here, where are you? And I'm like, dear, I'm at the, my prayer place. I cannot show up. She's like, okay, what if you just show up after an hour? I'll come back and you can do my hair at least.
No.
Yes, she did. I'm telling you, if you're gonna take me at that place, then I'm gonna take you heavens.
That's crazy.
So that's why I blasted people. I'm just like, if you would have no basic etiquettes and ethics and understanding of how to behave around people, and with their certain situations,
that's crazy though.
So that was like a massive disrespect on my father's,
in you
funeral or whatever it is you want to call it. And I was just like, if you cannot respect that somebody just died in my family, which is my own father, and you're gonna act like your
it's not like it's
is
just
more important than doing a prayers on him, I'm just like, maybe you are delusional. Like, Delulu's the Salulu for you, then be delusional. Do you. And I was not even okay with that. I was like, I let it go, that part. And this thing happened on Friday. So Sunday comes and she texts me, I'm waiting on my refund. So let me know when you send that back.
She didn't even say, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry for your father, like your loss, like.
So I'm like, no, you're getting nothing back. She's like, oh, I'm going to make sure I'm going to blast you on my social media. I'm going to send all the bad reviews and things like that. And I'm like, go ahead.
Well, and then they did.
They did.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay.
Even the husband, right?
Husband came after. That's what I'm saying. I'm just like, when this bring other family members into the mess, I'm just like, I'm one enough for your whole family. Trust me. So this is the thing. When they come, they don't realize that, especially coming from South Asian culture, they don't think a woman can talk. They don't know me yet.
The disrespect.
Exactly. They're like, oh, we're going to scare her from like, oh, I'm going to disrespect. I'm going to make you look like you're a scam artist. And I'm going to make you look like you are like stealing people's money. And you're running away with this thing, that.
And they expect you to just like tuck your tail and like, okay.
They're just like, and people do, they have done that to my friends. So they're like, I'm not that type. That's why I'm always like, when I'm doing my stories and things like that, I'm like, I'm not the person you think I am.
Right.
You don't know me. Don't try me. Don't test me.
Yeah.
Don't do that. So I established that image for a reason, because I'm just like, I am not your average scared auntie from South Asian community.
No.
I'm not.
I love that.
Yeah. I'm like, people are like, go you baseball, like, boss babe and like savage and this like that. I'm like, I don't want to be called that, but I am just telling you that I don't take anybody's BS.
Right. As you shouldn't.
Because I am covering all my bases. I am very clear with my timings. I'm very clear with my contract. I'm very clear the way I operate my business. I have these rules and regulations and things, terms and conditions for a reason.
Right.
If you don't respect that, I don't need to respect you.
Yeah.
It's very fair game.
Yeah, I agree.
And they feel like that is not fair.
What?
And I'm like, it is.
Because it doesn't serve them.
So let me blast you on social media. So so that's when they did that. And another thing, so again, as I said, I post about my life. I made a reel about my father because he had cancer and he was like, he was, so I made a reel about him that, a lot of people were sending blessings. So I'm just like, let's say thank you. And I made a reel about that.
Yeah.
He went underneath that reel. That was the reason I blasted him on social media, because he went underneath that reel where I am like, my father is basically on the hospital bed and we were talking and having a conversation because I would go see him every day. He went underneath and he said that I am I'm basically making money off of my father's death.
You're joking.
So I'm like having a pity party that, oh my God, he's having cancer. I'm like, I'm not doing a donation drive for him. So what makes you think I am making money out of his death?
That's crazy.
That was the reason I blasted him on social media.
That would have been like the last.
Even was like, I'm like, that's fine. Go blast my Google. Go blast my social media.
It's not real. Yeah.
People know me. I don't care. Again, I feel like I'm blessed in that sense that I really don't have to worry about that thing. But I'm like, try me. And he did. And guess what? He epically failed. His family emailed, DM'd me and they were like, oh, do you want to know he owns these motels and hotels in South Padre Island? Do you want to blast his social media?
His family had
his own family DM'd me.
No.
They're like, this is not acceptable. So this is the type of community I have around me.
That's amazing.
So I was just like,
his own family was like, we're not doing this.
They told me which motels he owned. So if I want to use that against...
They threw him under the bus.
Shattered.
That's crazy.
Pieces. So...
That's insane.
Yeah. So, and I'm just like, I don't want to be like him, though.
Yeah.
I just want to say that you're...
Say my piece.
Yeah, yeah. You know, I'm like, I have a limit of how I want to be petty. Mm-hmm. If he would have done more, I would have done more.
Sure.
But I'm like, I'm not there yet to do all that. I am not here to harm anybody's money or business. Mm-hmm. If you are attacking me personally, I'm going to come attack you personally.
Right, and then be done. Yeah.
And be done.
Yeah.
Bye.
Crazy.
So, you know, I mean, if people who are entering in this business... Let's talk about that.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not glitter and gold all the time.
Yeah.
This is the type of people you're going to deal with. Mm-hmm. This is the type of clientele that will come through the doors.
Yep.
And it's a vetting process. It's a vetting process that you have to go through to build the clientele you want to have. It's not always glorious and it's not always glamorous.
No.
There are people who are going to come to you who are going to be so confused in their life. They have never done hair and makeup. Mm-hmm. They're so picky. Mm-hmm. They don't want you to be like, you know, doing certain things.
Sure.
So it is a very difficult place to be standing and satisfying people.
It
especially
is.
When they're paying you.
The service industry is crazy.
I always say, if somebody's paying you, it's very hard to please them. Mm-hmm. And if you're able to do that, you made it.
Agreed. Agreed.
You made it.
Yeah.
Because having the self-control, be nice, have the smile, even though they're trying to doubt you. People are still that comes through. I mean, despite having all these years of work, people still are at my seat. They're just like, will it look good?
All the time.
Are you sure you can do that? Having like 2,000 people posted on my page, they still are like, can you do that?
You're like,
yes. You think we can do that? And you know, it's like, if you are too sensitive, then you'll be like, oh my God, she's doubting my skills.
Right.
You cannot.
She just doesn't know you, or maybe they didn't do their homework and they have no idea who you are.
Possibilities are endless.
Right.
Their imagination can be in la la land. Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter. You have to again recoup yourself and be like, oh, you know what? That's okay. We'll do it.
Yeah.
You know, we'll make it happen. You have to reassure them every single time. Mm-hmm. You cannot really think very high of yourself. Mm-mm. You have to be like, okay, that will be done. Don't worry, we'll make it happen. If it is not possible, again, educate them.
Yeah.
Tell them that, you know what, if we had this, we might be able to do that.
Right.
But since we don't have this, that is not happening.
Right.
Be nice about it. Give them a smile.
Yeah.
Even though they might be disrespecting you in some way that you might feel like it. So again, you cannot be sensitive.
Sure.
When you're working in this industry, you cannot be sensitive at all.
No.
You have to have.
You cannot take it personal. No.
Not at all.
It's funny.
Yeah.
It's true though. It's very true. I think that's a great tip.
Yeah.
So, like, what are your plans moving forward? Do you have any goals for 2025 and 26? Or just to kind of like maintain where you're at?
I feel like we want to expand, maybe have a bigger space to bring more services. But again, I'm not there yet as well. I'm still like at the, you know, I don't know. I want to. But at the same time, you know, the place we live at, there's so much competition that I'm just like, do I really want to expand and take more on my head? Because again, I want to make sure that I am able to take care of my kids. They are still little. I have kids in 3 different, you know, eras. So older two don't need me. My younger one needs me more. And I want to make sure that I don't commit myself, overcommit myself. Because sometimes when we're doing hair and makeup, we do have weekday appointments too. So, and of course the weekends are totally gone, especially Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sundays are completely gone. So I'm still like, you know, do I want to overcommit myself and be there for 7 days versus few days? Because once you open a space and have a service overhead that, you know, you are offering, then you're committed for 7 days. So I don't know, maybe not next year, maybe a year follow, we might do that.
Nice.
Let's see how it goes.
But at least you're self-aware enough that you're like, look, I have other responsibilities that trump my goals for this.
Yes.
And you're going to balance that.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that.
Balancing is key. If I had no kids, no husband, no life, and it will be very different. I'll be just like, let me just go explore the world. And that's the reason.
Be a traveling makeup artist or whatever. Yeah.
There's so many times when the people are like,
yes,
we need you to travel to us for this location and that location. And the only reason we say no is because we have commitments behind the doors, you know, that it's just like choosing your own priorities. People do that. They travel. There are so many people I know who have small kids and they travel.
It's not for me.
It's just not for me. I choose my family first, and that's the choice that I make. It has nothing to do or against anybody.
Sure.
But that is the choice I'm making right now. I can, and you know as well, like, you know, we can do so much more.
Oh, yeah.
We can do so much more, but we are just holding ourselves because of our kids.
And I think that's a conversation that I feel like a lot of moms need to have, is that you got to choose your priorities and you just have to stick with it, and then just know that, like, being a parent to young children is only a season. You still have plenty of time.
It shall pass. But don't ever self-doubt yourself. Don't think that you are not enough, because a lot of times it can be any industry, doesn't matter it's beauty or not. You might think that, oh my God, like I'm a loser or I'm not doing that. It's not enough.
The imposter syndrome.
And you know, I would blame it on Instagram, because we always see these glorious, you know, videos.
We
and
know
pictures,
that's not true.
And
it's not true.
I promise you, half of that is not true. A lot of things that you see us post, half of that is not really happening. It's just it's there to sell. It's for views. It's there to sell. You like it or not, that's the reality. But that's how Instagram works, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But don't ever doubt yourself, even if you are doing on small scale. Keep doing.
Yeah.
Don't stop for no reason. If you make cakes, keep doing it. If it is small level cakes, keep doing it. One day your kids are gonna be grown,
and you'll have more time to do other things. Yeah.
Guess what? You have already built a business. So from there, it's just gonna boom. It's gonna expand. So don't stop. I will always encourage all the females, doesn't matter it's from our community or not, always have a side skill, a side hustle. Do something.
Yeah.
Always do something. Don't sit because you're just like, oh, I'm a stay-at-home mom. You can be a stay-at-home mom.
But do something.
Do something. Instagram has created so many opportunities that you can just be like, okay, if you're making something at home and if you feel like that's a good thing that you make a reel out of it. You don't have to show your face even for that. So their possibilities are endless. If you feel like your goal is to do something, make an Instagram, make a business around that. And create a community till you know that, okay, this is the time for me that I can expand. So don't wait till that time comes and start building at that.
I agree, 100%.
Start doing it right now. Today is the day.
Like little tiny things you can do.
Baby steps is always going to take you to success. It's never big steps.
Oh, it's always the little jumps. Yeah.
It's more solid foundation in that way.
I think so too. And then you don't grow too fast where you're like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing. I have the wrong people on my team. But like, it's just...
The venting process is just like, you just make sure you learn from it. And then when it's the right time, you nail it.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay, so do you have like a tip for a new makeup artist or hairstylist like starting in the industry? What is like one thing that you feel like is very, very important for them to know when they first start their career?
I think so, being kind and having realistic, as we said, that when you're entering the industry, it's not that glamorous. It's a lot of hard work. You're gonna hate everybody. You're gonna hate yourself. You're gonna be like, what did I got myself into? And I kid you not, I have seen that happening. That you think you know it, even though having the skills, if you don't know how to do customer service, you're gonna fail.
Yeah.
Skills are not going to last you. Skills are only going to take you to a certain point. After that, it's you who's going to make it happen.
Yeah.
You know? So always have realistic expectations. How should I say it? Do less of the fluff and more of the real thing, because the fluff is going to go away very soon.
Very soon. Yeah.
When you're going to be doing like multiple clients a day with multiple tantrums, you know, you are not going to love it.
Yeah.
And if you don't have that
self-control,
yes, and if you don't have that self-control and self-realization who you really are, guess what? You're gonna quit.
A lot of people quit.
You know it.
A lot of people quit.
I know so many people who were so skilled.
talented too. I'm like,
so talented,
so
more
talented.
than me, I would say.
Yes, yes. I'm like, you are amazing. What are you doing?
And they're just like, oh, I cannot deal with people. So dealing with people is a big factor. If you don't know how to do it, guess what? You're gonna quit.
It's true.
So have a lot of patience. Learn. You should know how to be a good listener. Because if you're gonna be like, no, I know more than you know, you're not gonna last.
Good luck.
Yeah.
No, I think this is
You have your skills good for you. Prove it.
Yeah.
Show it. Make them understand. But you cannot be like, oh, I know more than you. You don't know what you're saying.
Sometimes that's not even the case. Sometimes people do know more than you. They just don't know how to do it.
What I have learned is a lot of time your skill is not what they really need. But unfortunately, they're sitting on your seat. And now you have to do something according to their likes. Like for me, a lot of time they're like, oh, the full beat is the thing to go for our South Asian culture, right? A lot of time we have these moms that comes and they're just like, they're very minimalistic. They didn't even do a makeup in their life, not even for their own wedding. They don't know how the eyelash works and things like that. So you have to make them comfortable. You have to understand what is their comfort level and stop at that.
Right.
Don't push that, oh my God, no, you're going to look glamorous. They're not Kim Kardashian's mom.
They don't want to do that.
No, they don't want to do that. So just let them have that natural glam. Let them have that good experience.
Yeah.
They're the most easy people to please. Just be like, okay, simple tinted moisturizer, a little blush, a little mascara, a little lip gloss, If that is what they want to do, give them that, make them happy.
Yeah.
Get to the next person.
Love it.
Yeah. It's not always Instagram.
Being versatile, like, okay, well, I only do these looks. No,
My thing
versatile.
is, if you are able to satisfy moms, and if that becomes your clientele, you nailed it. You made it.
I agree. And that's like who most of my clientele is.
The same thing for me. They're just like the moms.
They're the ones that find
love me more than daughters. Moms are like obsessed.
Those are the hardest ones to please, though.
And if you're able to please moms, because guess what? They don't have the most flawless face.
Nope.
They don't have the most flawless features. They have not done facial in like 50 years. They have all the facial hairs that you can imagine.
Yes.
So if you're able to please them, I think so you have made yourself. You have made the mark, or whatever you want to call that.
Yeah, I love it.
Because if it is very easy to do a makeup on a 20-year-old,
for sure,
versus a 50-year-old. Having a flawless face is easy to beat versus a person who has no idea what they're doing. And to make them walk out happy and come back again.
Yeah, it's just
or recommend you.
Yeah, that. Yeah.
I think so that is a glorious moment, and I think so I have made that, so that's why I'm just like, whoa,
you did it, you made it.
I did it. I'm like, moms love me, yay. I don't care about the daughters. I do. I don't say that.
That's hilarious.
I do. Awesome. But it's just like if you're able to satisfy the older generation, I think so you have really made it into the, and I feel like
artistry, yeah.
And I feel like to polish yourself, you should always do them. To polish your skills, to test your skills, you should always do mature skin, mature people, because that will really test you in the ways you are not prepared.
Yes.
So if you,
I have been so humbled. In the beginning of my career, I did a grandma, and she had a lot of, she had scarring, she had bruising, she had really watery eyes because she had cataract surgery. Like, there were a lot of difficult things that I was trying to, change.
The medical interventions that you have to do.
Yes, that I had to change, and there was only so much makeup that I could put on her. She was allergic to a lot of things, and the application just was not good, and I posted her before and after picture and on a community makeup artist page, and they just destroyed me. They were like, wow, this is embarrassing for you. And I'm like, yeah, guys, why do you think I'm posting this? Like, help me, because I do not know what I'm doing. And they just it was harsh. It was very harsh to hear. There was hundreds of comments on there, and I was like, okay, guys, don't be so rude. But I took everything that they said, and I practiced, and I learned, and I practiced, and I did the work. And then I came back a year later and posted another picture of a very similar situation, and I was like, hey guys, FYI, y'all are really fucking rude, but thank you so much for the honest feedback. And the skill set that you guys have that you shared with me in a not so nice way, but we're here.
See, that's on you because you took that criticism, you took that negativity
I could've quit.
and turned into a positive outcome.
I could have quit.
If you could have been just like, F this thing, screw you all.
Yeah, I could have.
I quit.
I cried
that's
a little bit.
Happened. So that's what I'm saying. You have to have the self-realization.
Yeah.
Have to have that patience.
Yeah.
You have to have that, I don't know how, like in the inside in you has to have like, open mind.
Sure.
About taking all the criticism.
And
I was criticized about my hair skills in the beginning. From my own client, but in a nice way. She was just like, you know what, Asra, you're good at makeup, but you really need to do blah, blah, blah on the hair.
Yeah.
I was like, thank you for letting me know. I took that and pushed myself
to learn
and kept pushing myself. I did not see how much I was charging. I was just like, I need more heads.
Yeah.
I need more practice.
Right.
No hair, half hair, bleached hair, destroyed hair.
Yes. Curly hair, fine hair, all of it.
You need that practice.
Yes.
So the more, I still do that. I still take that, okay, I need to practice as many faces as possible. That's why I am not, trying to be bridal exclusive.
Sure.
Because I want to, that is the way for me to practice and humble myself. I'm like, let me have everybody and anybody, I don't care.
Any event,
come
any style.
through the doors. And I mean, I still have all the ethnicities that come through the door, funny enough, that I have everybody, like they're getting ready for Christmas parties, birthday parties, whatever you name it, photo shoots for their own family. I do everybody. So it's not that I'm limited to South Asian community. Right. I have every ethnicity that comes through those doors and getting ready. And that is what you need in order to be a successful makeup artist.
Agreed.
Please don't put yourself in that box where I'm just like, I'm going to do only brides, or I'm only going to do young people.
Good luck.
How many young people you can really do? I'm like you can still be successful, but as an artist, you need to build your skills. And that can only come through doing everybody.
Yeah. Well, this was great. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me. I love it. I'm glad to have this conversation.
It was good.
Yeah.
Okay, well, everybody go follow Asra. It is Bridal Art Studio by Asra.
Yes. On Instagram.
Yay.
Follow my chickens.
Follow the chickens. I love it. Well, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me. It was so good to sit down and talk to you and not doing clients.
Yeah, like actually talk. Like we haven't actually talked. It was like, okay, hey,
it's always so stressful when
can I see lash? I need your tweezers.
Yeah. Like I'm missing my scissors.
Someone find them. Hurry up, your hair's wet. We'll try it. No.
Right? It's like it's amazing. I love it. Thank you for having me. I'm so glad I came and you called me.
Yay.
Love you.
Good. Thank you. This was good. Yay.